Who couldn't join. I had already started, but I didn't know I was on mute. Okay, let the other one join. So we'll see a few tips how to maintain gut health. And before that, how do you identify, firstly, that there might be some problem in your gut or what is happening, what might not be right. And then what is to be done and how do you maintain it or prevent the complications. So the requirements for it is, firstly, you need to have you need to keep your mind like a white paper. That's just because whatever you already know might not be correct, or you might have to unlearn a lot of things. There might be a few mistakes. And also, the next requirement and the most important requirement is, do not preach the same to others. Whatever you are understanding today or whatever you're learning today, keep it for yourself, your family, or the people whom you live daily with. It is not something that you need to uh, just because it is not easy for you to reproduce the same. Most of the concepts that you might be hearing might be new to you and difficult for you only to process and understand and practice it or adopt it. So it is not that easy to share or to reproduce the same thing in the exact way. So if there is anybody or maybe somebody out of your first circle or your first family needs help and you can identify it, that's a very good thing that you can do. But it is not right to preach the same thing or exact thing just because it might not suit them. If there are few things that you can advise based on the lifestyle, that is good, but please do not advise about any other medicine or any other advices that you might get in this present session. Also, if you have any doubts that you get, you can definitely ask them in the end. A few tips related to certain problems that you might face based on your day to day activities, like you don't have time to manage, you can't eat on time, or you can't, what to do when you have other works. All those will be discussed then and there when such a point or such a slide appears. In spite of all that, you have any doubts, you can ask them, you can definitely ask them at the end. So the contents for today, you will know everything, or we will see everything only in the view of Ayurveda. I have tried to make it as simple as possible for you to grasp it or understand it in a easier way. Even though you don't know the basics of Ayurveda or you don't know much details about Ayurveda, it will be easier for you to understand certain principles today. And I have made it for you to apply it in your day to day life. Instead of explaining it in a medical way, I have made it easier for you to apply it. So the contents will be, you will know what is gut according to Ayurveda, and what is gut health when it comes to Ayurveda, and how do you know if your gut is healthy or it needs help, and how do you maintain your gut health. And in the same, we have certain tips which are related to Ayurveda to maintain your gut health. And then in the end, yoga for gut health. And in this aspect, I have put only minimum, say bare minimum, only two of the asanas specifically, and others are generalized, like very different, because when it comes to gut health or when it comes to any condition related to gut health, therapeutic yoga or any yoga therapist or a doctor will be required for you to recommend any asanas, because based on your severity, the number of times you do the asana or the number of breathings you need to do, all that will be fixed. So there are very few which anybody can do or anybody can follow, and which do not cause major problems or issues when done correctly. Only such things are there when it comes to yoga for gut health. So, to start with, if you can share about what you know about gut, or maybe if you can remember what you have learned in your school days or biology, or in general, what do you understand by the word gut? Anybody, if any of you can tell, then we'll just move ahead.
Basically, it's like proper digestion system.
Okay, good. So, if we remember, the digestive system is this thing that we had seen, or all of us had drawn this figure in our school days or college days. So it starts from mouth and ends in the anus. So this is what we have learned in school days or in college days. But when we understand in terms of Ayurveda, Ayurveda says for proper health or for proper gut health, there is a whole system working, and it is not just these organs. There are much more, or there are much more involvement when it comes to gut health, and we call it as koshtha. And koshtha involves all these organs. So if we have to see the different organ systems which are present, be it the brain, lungs, heart, liver, stomach, your intestines, small and large intestines, and kidneys, and another part also, which is required for separation of the mala. This whole thing is comprised and together called as koshtha. So if we have to see, gut or koshtha is not a separate entity, or it's not only 3 or 4 organs, but there are many more. And whatever we eat undergoes process in the intestines, but the process starts elsewhere. If you remember the process, or if you remember what happens when you start eating, so you put something in the mouth, immediately there is some secretions that is produced, something and all is happening in the body. You start chewing, which is not in your control. Even though you're chewing, you're doing other works also. Maybe you're talking, you're watching TV, or you're even enjoying or relishing whatever you're eating. So there is involvement of something which you don't know, that is brain. And then all other entities involved in the complete process of the food, right from what you're eating to the production of blood, or the production of sweat, the wastes, sweat or urine or the feces. All the organs involved come under the koshtha, that is amashaya, pakvashaya, mutrashaya, raktashaya, hridaya, unduka, and puphusa. So these are the Samskrita terms for certain organs working in the body. And all these organs are grouped under koshtha. This is called as koshtha because these are involved in the proper, or in normal functioning also. They are involved in the digestion of the food. So if you have to understand when the gut health is not fine, what all problems might occur is the diseases related to any of these organs. So when you say there is some issue in the say in the heart, or there is somebody who's facing difficulty in breathing, or who are susceptible to repeated cough, cold, or the cough is not going at all. The problem is not just lying in the lungs, but it is in the whole process of digestion. So, when you visit any Ayurveda doctor, if you have come across, even though you have cough, cold, or anything, the medicines that they would first give would improve your appetite, or the changes that would happen would be right from what you eat. And it's not just about that, but also, so we say Raktashaya, or the liver and blood vessels. And so when you happen to say there is anemia, or you're repeatedly feeling fatigue, or there is problem related to your urine or feces, or when there are people who get excessive of sweating, they complain of sweating. Women who have excess of sweating in specific period is different, that will be related to menstrual cycle also, but a part of it, or the root cause, will be beginning from the koshtha itself. So if we have to understand any disease you take, or any symptom that appears, the root cause will begin, or the root cause will be in the koshtha. There, of course, there are other diseases which we can acquire because of infections and other issues, or by infectious contact, or infectious bites, or other accidents. In spite of them, even though that will be instant reason, in case the gut health is hampered, then the healing period might be delayed, or the problems that one might face because of a small insect bite might be different. If you have observed during your lifetime, or during your other school days, or recent days, or maybe with any other friends or relatives, you might be observing that the same insect bite happened to 2 or 3 people in the beginning, and then there is flow, or there might be only spotting, or there might be spotting throughout the month, or very less flow, or heavy flow, or many other symptoms related to menstrual cycle. And please note and please know that menstrual cycle is directly related to your gut health and depends on everything that you eat on a daily basis. Having said this, there's another quote saying, Sarve rogaha mandegno. That means all diseases occur only when the Agni is manda, or it is dysfunctioning, or not functioning properly. As we saw, all organs come under Koshtha, and Agni is the one who controls all the functions related to all these organs. And so, when Agni is hampered, any diseases or any problems can occur. So, now you know about what is gut health, or how do you identify if your gut is healthy or not. When there are symptoms like this, feeling hungry on time, stools correct, normal, daily, clear, burp is clear, body is light, cycles are regular for women, and there is all other body tissues working normally, you have energy to do all the work, then nothing to worry, your gut is all good and it's doing good. But if there is any problem in any aspect of this, then it is not fine and you need a few corrections. Now, we will see what hampers the gut health. So, there are only 3 things that can cause any problem related to gut health. Again, those are something which will do any changes in the body, that is ahara, that is the food that you intake. Every day, that is the only source that goes inside the gut that you know, right? So that is something which is directly in contact, and that is something which directly causes any trouble or any variations related to the gut health. This is something that you can easily understand. But there are two more things which can hamper the gut health, which most of the people nowadays neglect or ignore, or they might feel this is something that can't do anything for the gut health or it has no impact on the digestion. That is sleep and activities, or nidra and vihara. So, for any given condition, the reasons for variations will be only in these three, that is, ahara, nidra, and vihara. That is the food, sleep, and the activities that you do. So, if we see the reference, अभोजनाद अजीर्णाति भोजनाद विषमाशनात् असात्म्य गुरुशीताति रूक्ष संदुष्ट भोजनात् विरेक वमन स्नेह विभ्रमाद व्याधिकर्षणात् देशकालर्तु वैषम्याद वेगानां च विधारणात् दुष्यत्यग्निः सदुष्टोन्नं न तत् पचति लघ्वपि अपच्यमानं शुक्तत्वं यात्यन्नं विषपूर्णताम्. So if we see about food, there are so many things to explain. So we'll reduce it as improper foods, excess heavy foods, and viruddhahara. Improper food intake or wrong food habits is the first thing that hampers the gut. But do we know what are wrong food habits? The first thing is not eating food at all. And then it is eating even when you have ajirna, and eating excess of heavy foods. So how do you identify your food is heavy? Again, the symptoms in your body will tell you if whatever you have eaten is heavy or light. Usually, there are certain food items that we know it is heavy or light, but there are certain food items which you don't know, but I'll tell you how you can identify them. So when you feel heavy and undigested, or even after eating a little amount of it, it takes a lot of time to get digested. Such foods are heavy in nature. And if the preparation involves a lot of procedure and it involves excessive of heat, then such foods turn heavy for consumption. Also, preparations which involve heavy food ingredients like dairy products, say cheese, butter, excess of ghee, milk, cooked something in milk. Also, preparations of pastes. Some pastes meaning you prepare a dough, keep it, and then prepare something that becomes heavy for digestion. Heavy meaning not by weight, but for digestion. What becomes heavy for digestion are all of these. So you might have got a few food pictures in your mind, like pastries, ice creams, pizza, rotis, tandoori rotis, or anything that is made of tandoor. When I said excessive of temperature, or overheated or over roasted or roasted on coal or something like that, that becomes heavy for digestion. Fried items, deep fried items are heavier for digestion. It takes longer duration to be processed inside your gut. All these become heavy preparations. And when you come to traditional preparations, something which you cook or roast half and then cook or recook it, say like biryani, you cook it half and then prepare a dum again, you close it and heat it again in a different way or a different pot. Adding curd to the food also becomes heavy. And then comes Viruddha Ahara. What is Viruddha Ahara? Viruddha Ahara is something that is improperly combined, especially when it comes to food. Viruddha is opposite. Things that are opposite should not be consumed together. So simpler things, be it simpler things like hot and cold, there are 20 such properties, but we are not looking at it in that detail now. In general, I'll be explaining it. Mixing very hot and very cold items together and consuming it, or consuming very cold items soon after eating food, or soon after eating hot food, or drinking fridge or ice cold water continuously or regularly, even in between food while you're eating hot food, and mixing milk and salt, heating honey, and also mixing things which are poisonous. Or maybe if there are non vegetarians, they might know about fish and milk, which are poisonous. And adding honey on hot food, all these hamper the gut to such an extent that it can't be reversed. And then comes untimely food. This is one thing that causes major problems to the gut, because you're mainly confusing the gut and also not letting it do its function. Untimely food might not just be skipping a meal, but also eating repeatedly just because of craving. Say you eat now, and or maybe obligations, or something like social norm, if you're visiting your friends, or if you're going out to meet them, or if you're on a party, or if you're with a family meeting or reunion, friends reunion, whatever it is, or maybe office function, office party, or in your day to day office also. Repeatedly eating something can again make all the organs active and force them to do some or the other function. So that can cause a lot of trouble. And then next one is, you eat food timely, but without addressing or without understanding about your hunger. This also causes problem. There are a lot of people who say, I eat timely. If I look at the clock, the time is up, I finish my lunch, I finish my dinner by this time, I finish my breakfast by this time. But still, I'm suffering from a lot of symptoms. Why does this happen? This happens because the Agni is not fine, or the Koshta is not ready for the food that you're giving. Mostly because of the food quality or the food quantity or the type of food that they might have taken earlier. Just because the time is fixed, you can't go on eating everything without hunger or without observing if the gut is ready for what you're giving. And then comes improper method of intake of food. And this happens to be the major issue now, because once the food is cooked, it should not be reheated. But now There's a lot of options for them to make it feel fresh again. So you again place it in a microwave, or you just again fry it up, or you again reheat it and then eat. This is very bad, and this can hamper the gut very badly. And unfortunately, medicines will not be able to correct this easily, this particular mistake easily. All other things can be controlled, but when reheated food or processed food or reprocessed food is taken on a regular basis, it can't be corrected easily. And then other improper method is refrigerating the food. Refrigerating the cooked food is very harmful. Also, keeping the batters in refrigeration and using it for a week or more is also very harmful. And eating stale food is also another big problem that can hamper the gut. Then, improper sleep patterns. So, when you don't sleep properly, it's not just your mind that doesn't work properly, it's the whole body or the whole system. Every organ in the body doesn't work right way when the sleep is disturbed, be it sleeping in the sleeping during the day is also wrong, or sleeping late night is also wrong, and having break while sleeping. Say you wake up by you sleep at 10 o'clock. Usually that happens with students. So what they do is they sleep and again wake up, for sleep for an hour, wake up and again study, again sleep for an hour, again wake up, again study. That also can hamper a lot. Or using the screens or using mobile just before sleeping, just before half an hour or 1 hour of sleeping, can also hamper a lot of things in the body, including your gut. And then vihara, improper state of mind while consuming food. That can hamper your digestion, absorption, production of tissues, and the later functions also. Also, it can hamper your appetite again. Again, it's like a circle from the beginning. You don't, again, there is no hunger, again, you eat, again, the process of digestion is hampered. And wrong exercises, be it over exercising or not exercising at all. This can cause a lot of problems to the gut. And exercising soon after eating or exercising without the food being digested, that can hamper the gut very much. Also, mismanagement of Agni in previous disease state. Say there was fever or there was vomiting or loose motions or something. So, as we discussed, that is the first sign that the whole gut is hampered and the gut needs rest. More than the medications, the gut itself is showing you that the gut needs rest and you don't have to put anything extra or give repeatedly. If the condition is severe or if the symptoms are severe, then medical intervention and food, proper planned diet or proper food is required. If it is mismanaged, then the gut will be in trouble, and this condition also can lead to a lot of complications and can take longer for you to cure yourself or heal yourself and bring your gut to normalcy. So the best thing you can do is observe first. Observe how the symptoms are and what the symptoms are, and then decide what is supposed to be done. So now you saw that all these have a role in maintaining your gut health, your sleep, your mental health, your stress, immunity, and other things. Now we'll see about mind and gut relation. So अन्नमिष्टं ह्युपहितम् इष्टैर्गन्धादिभिः पृथक् देहे प्रीणाति गन्धादीन् घ्राणादीन् इन्द्रियाणि च. So the food that you eat happily and with a peaceful mind not just nourishes your body but also nourishes all your sense organs. So it's not just limited to these tissues, or it's not just about the blood, nerves, and other functions in the body, but it is also related to all the sense organs. And then उपतप्तेन भुक्तं च शोकक्रोधक्षुधादिभिः चान्नं न जीर्यति. The food that you eat doesn't get digested properly when you eat with stressful or depressed or angry mind. It's not just about digestion, it also doesn't get absorbed properly, and it leads to a lot of complications or issues later. So let the situation be anything. Maybe there are, because almost all of them are women here, they might be able to relate it easily. So when you know you're married, or you're married newly, or you're in office, or you're going to a job newly, and you're anxious, or you're not comfortable around few people, or there is somebody who has hurt you in the family, or there is somebody who has made you feel angry or awkward, or be it depressed. If you're eating in front of such a person, you don't feel comfortable, or you're just eating with a lot of thoughts in mind. And also, if you observe, there are feelings like palpitations, or you can really literally feel your heartbeat while you're eating. You might be feeling discomfort in your stomach and all that. It's just not related to that particular moment. So what best you can do is, if you have any of such feelings, please don't eat in such a situation, or please don't eat because it is an obligation. Even 1 spoon that you eat in excess quantity after satiety, or 1 spoon that you eat with discomfort, stress, or depression, or anger, can make you suffer minimum for 3 days. So if you have eaten a whole meal with such a feeling, imagine the amount of trouble the body or the gut is facing. You might not know any symptoms immediately, but as and when it gets chronic or repeatedly it happens, Or probably during your cycles, you will have to face one or the other issues, because anything that you eat in such a state will get converted into shukta or ama state, undigested material, which can't be cleared from the body easily. It acts like a foreign material in the body or a foreign content in the body. This is one of the major reasons for most of the autoimmune conditions that many women have ended up with presently. That's because when in stress, you don't know how your body functions, and still you force yourself to do all the activities normally and on day-to-day basis, be it eating, working, preparing food for kids, preparing home, making things easy for everybody around, making every work for everybody easier, and sending kids to school. Along with all this, you are also eating food with the same stressful state. And when such foreign material gets collected in ample or in excess in the body, that will eventually be identified as something harmful by the body, and they go on attacking them. And that is being produced by what you eat on a regular basis, or which is already collected so much and lodged in your body tissues. When identified as trouble to the body's immune system again causes trouble or functions to harm the same cells, or the same cells which have such ama built or such shukta produced due to this condition. So if you want to be healthy for a long time and without any complications, focus on how you're eating. Avoid eating if you don't feel good in that particular situation, or you don't feel like eating that particular preparation also, because you are more important than any obligation, than any temporary situation with any person, or in your workplace or home or wherever. Beyond everything, you must be important for yourself. Now we'll see how to maintain the gut health. If you're doing any of these mistakes that we discussed now, things related to gut, mind and gut, and ahara, nidra, or vihara, the mistakes that you might be doing, all these must be stopped immediately, or gradually at least bring a change or make a change. Stop following the trending foods on social media, be it raw veggies, be it sprouts, be it the new cuisines that come up like kombucha, or other preparations like sizzlers, which came up few years ago. Also, next important thing that you should do is to fix a routine. And in the beginning, when we started the discussion, we thought gut is related to digestion and it's about what you eat. But we also saw that it's not just about what you eat, but what all can hamper your gut should be addressed. So it is not just about what you eat, but it's also about when you eat, how you eat, and how much you eat. So there's one problem that most of us encounter, or there will be one question that everybody will get. okay, we discussed about all of this, but I will fix a routine and everything fine. But how do I know if the food is digested or not? It's not just about feeling hungry, getting a clear burp and all, right? That maybe that's not just the thing that you know. Give it time and it happens gradually. You will try to understand things deeper as and when you go on observing. And when it comes to how much to eat, everybody's appetite also differs according to Desha, Kala, and Rutu. According to the place you reside, according to the time of the day, and according to the season, all these will change. So, when you eat, how you eat, and how much you eat should depend on all of these things. So, if you are residing in a cold place or a cooler place, then you might have to eat early in the morning because you'll be feeling hungry as soon as you wake up. How to eat? Keep your mind calm, be peaceful while you're eating, and how much to eat varies according to your appetite. If you want to understand or if you want to fix your appetite, observe your body. That is, if you're eating 2 idlis or 3 idlis, and how much time it takes to get digested. Be it for a few, if they eat 1 idli, they're not hungry for 3 more hours. That might be normal for them. That doesn't mean everybody should eat only 1 idli. It differs. If you eat 2 idlis or 3 idlis and then you are hungry by your lunchtime properly with all the other symptoms, you've passed urine, you have a clear burp, you feel hungry and thirsty at the same time, then that's your lunchtime and you can eat. Again, the quantity should be such that you feel hungry again by your next meal. This is something which will help you. And in case you have eaten outside or you have eaten junk, there are cravings which you can't control, then skip the next meal. You eat in the odd timings, don't eat your meal or your regular meal. You eat around 6 o'clock or 4 o'clock just because you felt like eating or you wanted to eat. If you're hungry, it is different. If you're not hungry and still you have eaten something, avoid eating a whole meal or a proper meal in the night. Instead, have a glass of warm water or warm soup or warm porridge. This also you will be eating only if you are hungry. If not, just warm water and leave the gut to rest and reset itself. And then the most important, prefer native and local vegetables and fruits over the exotic ones. Your native and local vegetables are the ones that your genes are made up of. Trying new things are good, but using them on a regular basis is not that great. There is any specific condition for which it can help, then you're using it for a particular time, then it's okay. But that should not be your daily routine or something which you include daily. And eat foods that are rooted to your tradition and birthplace. Trying Mexican, Japanese, or Italian is all good for once, but not every month. And then check the ingredients before eating any random preparation. There's a major issue related to food industry presently which can hamper the gut, including the milk that you take or including the rice that you take. You need to keep a check on the source. And if you're eating or if you're purchasing anything packaged, please note or please check the ingredients. And if the ingredients are something which are native, local, and rooted to your tradition or your birthplace, then please continue with it. If not, please don't take them. And as we discussed earlier, you need to be peaceful while you're eating. And sticking to traditional recipes are way better than adopting Western, Eastern, Northern, Southern, whichever culture you want. Stick to your traditional recipe, because recipes or traditional recipes differ again according to your birthplace or your bringing up or the family you're born into, and many other things, be it your culture or be it your caste, creed, whatever it is personal and it is left to you. But sticking to your traditional recipes is something which will help your body grow and which will maintain your gut health. And then, tips for gut health is do not control hunger. Whenever and however you're hungry, or forcing yourself to do diets or forcing yourself to do any upavasa or anything like that should not be done while you're controlling the hunger. Have alternatives or have options if there is a situation that you can't eat your meal on time. Maybe preparing something like a warm porridge or just taking a cup of milk or any say wheat based cookies or anything temporarily for that moment, or soaked raisins which can help your gut, and then eat your meal when there is time. If there are any problems or situations where you can't eat, only then do such things. This cannot be a hack for not having a routine. This is only for emergency situations that you might come across. Or even eating a fruit at that moment can help. And the next tip is never overeat, not even a spoon. There's a problem, or there are people who usually follow this. They buy something outside, or in restaurants, it's common to see they buy something, they don't want to waste it, even though they are full or they don't want to eat, they stuff everything inside. It's okay if you can't eat it, leave it. Or if you feel you're full, leave it. It is okay to donate a part of it or serve how much ever you want. That is the first rule you need to follow. There are situations where you might not feel like eating all of a sudden. It's okay. At any cost, see to that you don't overeat. Even one spoon of excess quantity can be harmful. And then don't skip or split the meal unless it is advised by a Vaidya for your condition, or maybe if you're under any treatment or while you're undergoing any Panchakarma therapies, or if your Agni itself guides you not to eat. If the body says it is full, heavy, and it does not want food, until and unless it's guided by your Agni or your Vaidya, don't skip or split the meals. And then always prefer warm and fresh food over cold and stale foods. And make sure your previous meal is digested. You're hungry before you eat anything. If at all your Agni is weak due to any chronic issues, include spices, warm water, or warm medicated water, or infused water with food. I'll share a reel to all of you which can help in case this is anyone among you who needs some support for your appetite and for your digestion. Always eat according to your appetite, work schedules, and the weather of your surroundings. During summer, make sure you eat light. During winter, make sure you eat heavy foods or good quantity of foods. And also see to that your food has sufficient amount of oils, oil, ghee, or any unctuous substance. And we already spoke about it. Any given Ayurveda medicine first corrects your Agni, and that's how you see a lot of changes. And yoga, how does yoga act on the gut? Yoga stimulates Agni in all the levels. So, Agni, as we saw, Agni works on all these organ systems. And yoga is something that will help stimulate the Agni functioning in all these levels, not just one. But for yoga to do this particular function, the Jataragni or Agni in the stomach should be functioning well. Only then yoga will help you. And then yoga for gut health, as I told you earlier, very only three things which anybody can practice. I have mentioned. Any other specific condition requires a therapist guidance for you. Breathing exercises that can keep your mind calm, stimulate all the organs, and improve the Agni. Surya Namaskara can improve the Agni in all levels but needs to be practiced correctly after taking guidance from a yoga therapist or yoga instructor. Learn it for once and then continue. Vajrasana is something that you can do even after eating food. So, this is something which helps improve the digestion, absorption, improve appetite, and all the functions. If you have any difficulty, just follow or just do Vajrasana for 5 minutes every day and see the magic. Jatara Parivartasana is something which can help gut normalize itself a little faster. But this is something which you need to do it under guidance or instruction at least for once and then follow. The same thing like Surya Namaskara. But Vajrasana is easier and anybody can follow, even the breathing exercises. And if there is any form of stress or if it is related, if your gut issue is related anything to stress or work pressure, or if it is related to hyper acidity problems or anything excess in the body, be it your blood, be it your stress, be it your acid levels, or be it whatever. If anything is found excess in the body, these two can help you. That is relaxation and meditation. This is about yoga for gut health. Now, if you have any question and answers, we can discuss.
When you were talking about Viruddha Ahara, is like curd and cucumber Viruddha?
No, curd and cucumber is not Viruddha. So it doesn't. It's not just about. That's why I told you to follow the traditional recipes.
Okay.
Right. So they have a combination, or the combination is prepared in such a way that it is necessary or it is aptly curated. You add, when you mix curd with cucumber, we add other things also, right? Be it for the traditional preparations, we add either tadka or it is to balance in this. But when we speak
Okay.
about, curd only or the combination related to curds, curd should not be heated.
Okay.
So that becomes viruddha. So in most of the biryani preparations or many other preparations, it is like that. That is how many of them end up with difficulty of for digestion or gut issues. Here in this preparation, the coolness of cucumber will be balanced by curd.
The heating properties of curd.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes. मैं वही बताई थी, जो भी आपको बाकी सब में सिम्टम्स आ रहा है, अनीमिया है या थायराइड इश्यूज है या अदर हार्मोनल इश्यूज है, रिप्रोडक्टिव सिस्टम में इश्यूज है, वो पूरा सिम्टम्स आ रहा है क्योंकि गट हेल्थ में प्रॉब्लम है. ये गट, हाँ, इट इज द अदर वे राउंड. Yeah, in general, yes, I can tell two or three, but Viruddha Ahara itself is a very long topic because it will take another 1 hour if we start discussing about it. I just have thrown some light about it because something like this exists. This is causing trouble. But there are a lot of things in present days, a lot of things. For example, white sauce pasta, which is prepared with milk and or cream and adding salt to it. Yeah, that is one example which can cause trouble. And uh, and then adding cream, fresh cream to prepared curries. In the restaurants, that is what they do, or that's how it is practiced, right? Adding cream to malai based preparations or other coconut milk based preparations is okay, that is okay. Adding cream to something which is prepared with a lot of masala, lot of sour things, which has tomato puree, which has tomato puree and other things. For such things, when cream is added, then it is a problem. So this is another example if you want. And again, others I've mentioned, adding honey to hot things. So you get many preparations ready, like honey chili potato, which is where honey is thrown over hot thing and it is even fried with potatoes, right? Such things are very helpful. Huh. Mm. No, that is incorrect. That is wrong. There's already a reel that I made about it. I'll share it with you. You can check the details, what happens or why it is wrong. That is the main reason for a lot of liver issues now. Liver cirrhosis or fatty liver and many other problems.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
due to gut health is like gastric and piles is related?
Definitely. they are something which are interrelated, and both of these are some like piles is something that is caused in the end part of the gut itself, if you have to see. And it begins only with hampered eating or wrong eating habits,
Okay.
and eating excess of spices.
Okay.
Yeah, too many masala items, especially, or fried items in excess. Yes,
And maida is also related for like gut health problems.
definitely. That is heavy for digestion. So, we discussed about ingredients which are heavy for digestion can also become heavier for whole preparation prepared from a heavy ingredient
Okay. Like
can
protein.
become heavy. Yes, protein, or say payasam. Payasam is heavy for digestion. So, how much of payasam do we eat? It is very little, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is heavy for digestion. So, in the same way, preparations of maida itself is heavier, or it moves slowly in the gut. And so it becomes heavy, or it takes longer for digestion. That means it's heavy.
Okay.
So, when such things are consumed,
Gut
or
gut
repeated
problems.
consumption, yeah, repeated consumption of it can hamper the gut.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. It's not that we should not eat anything. We just have to be mindful about what we are eating, how we are eating, and how much of it we are eating.
Hmm.
Most of the traditional preparations also include maida,
Okay.
but how much of it we use and why we are using is different.
Consciously we have to eat.
Yes. Hmm? Yes. So, hmm, hmm. Yes, here what we need to know is about the ingredients. That's why there was one point where I mentioned please check the ingredients before you're eating from anywhere or you're eating anything. Yeah, so whatever is abnormal, there are a few people who are usually gifted, or maybe they take it as I am sensitive, I can't eat anything outside, or I can't go to parties, or I can't be normal like others. No, it is not so. You should consider yourself gifted that your body identifies that there is something wrong in that preparation. So you have a symptom which is showing you don't eat that again or don't eat from the same place. Yeah, if you have at home, there is no problem. If you have the same thing outside, there's a problem, then it's majorly about ingredients and also the method of preparation. The outside food might be stale, which the body is not ready to accept. And that usually happens when you practice yoga regularly. That usually happens. The body naturally rejects something which is not suitable to the body. There will be discomfort that is there. You can't avoid that. It's just like pain because we did one mistake there. We ate without knowing. Then we'll just have to face it off. But it's good that it doesn't remain in the body. The sensitivity might not be about the food or what you're eating, but about the ingredients. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay. Okay, then if there are no questions, then we'll wind up for today. Any questions related to the same topic? You can share it within a week on WhatsApp. Anything related to the topics which we have discussed today, because as I told, it is not easier to process and keep it in the mind. So you can leave a message anytime within a week. After that, we'll be working on the next topic, and the next topic that we would deal with would be protein consumption. So that will be in July 4th, Saturday. So if you feel anybody else needs it, or if you feel it is helpful for many, please do share it with others so that they will know the right thing to do. And the next topic will be protein consumption, and it is on 26th of July. The posters and other things I'll keep you posted, and it will be shared on the WhatsApp group and also to all of you. You can check and decide. Every month we'll come up with new topics. Whichever topic you feel you need to know, you can join, and also if you feel like others need it, you can share it with them. Thank you. And if you have doubts, please do feel free to WhatsApp.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Take care.